Alright, today we have a 2009 Chevy Cobalt, and we are going to replace the fan for the heater. If you have the problem where you just turn the fan on and it's making the normal fan noise but it's just weak, that problem is something as simple as just the fan motor itself is getting old. It's not working right. And this one, when you turn it to 4, it's like barely coming out up here, kind of kicking on and off. Once we get down underneath the dash, the fan's going to be located underneath the glove box. If you're having the same problem and the fan's not turning on at all, I will show you the part that you have to change in order to get your heater to work. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find the fan. This is your fan right here. You're going to find out wherever the plug is at. You're going to unplug it. It's going to tuck this side. And the tools you're going to need to get this off. Some people use a razor, but I like to use a hammer and a flathead screwdriver. Normally these fans are bolted in, but on this specific car, 05, I believe it's 05 through 2010 for sure, might be newer or older models might be the same way, but they're not bolted on, they're on by this seal. Okay, and right here you can see where I broke a little piece off. But what you want to do is you want to take your screwdriver and you want to tap it with a hammer upward, and you go all the way around and you break that seal all the way around until you're able to pretty much wiggle and grab it and yank this out by hand. Alright, once you get it out, you're going to be able to see the seal. This is what you're tapping out with your screwdriver. You're just breaking it free from the fan housing all the way around, the whole circle. And then you're going to be able to yank it out. Mine's pretty wet, but my fan has went out because there's a leak in the windshield. It's caused a bunch of water to get down in here. See, this, just like this. I only have one hand, so I can't show you, but you tap the bottom of your screwdriver with the hammer all the way around. It's going to break that fan right out. Alright, once you have the fan and everything out of the car, you basically just find the table somewhere. Okay, your new fan is going to come with something like this. It's all going to come together in the end. Here's the new fan. Here's the old fan. See, mine's all corroded. Crusty. Okay, and this is the fan, the housing. There was one screw right here. Okay, you take this one screw out, and then you're going to need a drill. Take a drill. There's going to be one rivet right here. Sorry about the camera work. There's going to be one rivet right here. It's like a plastic rivet, so it's real easy to drill this out. Once you drill that out, you can see that this pops right off, like so. So it looks like this. One screw, one rivet on the right side, left side, whatever side you're facing it, and it pops right off. Alright. When the old fan is in here, there was 2 studs that stick up that come through these 2 holes right here. It's held on by 2 bolts. You just take them off and this pops right off. And now this is going to pop onto the new fan. The new fan is going to come with 2 bolts, 2 nuts, and 2 studs sticking up. You're going to take these and you're just going to set your fan right on top. Alright, so basically you're going to see these 2 prongs sticking up. And you're going to take your heater housing and you're going to take your plug and you're going to try to line all that up at once. See the 2 holes up here? Once you got that on there, you just kind of verify both of these came through up top. Then you're going to want to look at your plug to make sure you can plug in your wiring. You'll be able to see the two little prongs sticking out right there. And now I'm just going to reuse the two nuts that were on the old one. I have a deep well 9/30 seconds. It fit perfect. Get them going on each side. I just pretty much hand tighten these. So I don't know if they're supposed to be like a certain spec or whatever, but it doesn't really matter. It's a heater fan. Just make sure they're snug so you don't got no like rattle or anything when you turn your heater on. Alright, now next, you're going to want to put this top piece where you got we had to break the rivet on there. Put it back on. Reuse the same screw that you took off. Which this one was a different size. This is 7/30 seconds, I believe. Let me check. Yep. Use a ratchet on this one. Just because it's a little bit more like a self-tapping screw than anything. Tighten that down about hand tight. You can put another screw on this side if you want, if you have one. Which I do. I have these 5/8 sheet metal screws. But I'm going to leave that like that because that's good enough for me. And then the ring gasket, metal gasket ring that came with it. Okay, you're going to put that right here. Okay, if you notice on here, there's two holes. Right, the inside hole is going to match these three on a heater casing pretty much perfectly. It's going to be three of them. I'm going to use these sheet metal screws for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get three of them started, and then I'm just going to use an electric screwdriver to get them to go down in there all the way. That's what I used. You don't have to do nothing crazy. Just make sure they're snug. Make sure it's not wobbling. And then, now that that's on there, the three spots left over when you put the fan up in there, that's where you're going to use the same sheet metal screws. And you're just going to pretty much make your own holes. You can drill out your own holes, whatever you want to do. But with these sheet metal screws, they just grab the plastic and they drill right in, which makes it really easy. So this gasket pretty much replaces that seal that we busted with a hammer and a screwdriver. Alright, so when you go to put your fan back in, you want to look, make sure your plug is where it was when you pulled your fan out. Put it back up in here. These holes are going to line up with the pre-existing holes that are already there. Here's one of the holes. Make sure they're all, it's going to be snug right up in there. And you take your new screws, using the same ones I was showing you on the bench. Get this one going by hand. It's actually sitting here for me kind of nicely. It's gonna fall now, I said that though. Get the first two going by hand, and then I'm just gonna use the throw. Okay, here we are with the blower motor plugged back in, everything hooked up. Works as it should. Everything works as it should now. Blows pretty good. Now if you're having a problem where this doesn't turn on at all, this piece right here, this plug, is your blower motor resistor or control module. Depends on what you want to call it, I guess. But this is what you want to change when you go to turn this on like that and nothing happens. The fan doesn't try to kick on at all. Just come right down here next to the heater. That wiring harness right there. Alright, when it comes to why there was water inside of my heater fan, come outside on the passenger side. There's this plastic guard right here. Right underneath that is where your cabin filter goes. You can access your cabin filter from the glove box. But this wears out over time and it starts to leak when it rains. And there's like a hole that goes straight down for your fresh air intake, straight down to your heater. So we just put some flex tape over it, just as a temporary fix. So if you're getting water in your heater, you're noticing water on your floorboards are getting wet every time it rains, it's probably your problem.